Great Geffune's ghost! That's the largest bloody half-goofa I've ever laid eyes on.
A half-goofa? I haven't seen one since I was a child.
Great Geffune's ghost! That's the largest bloody half-goofa I've ever laid eyes on.
It's not just in pain. It's trying to sing.
It's the Song of the Sands. We don't normally sing like this underground.
Is that what's causing the storm?
Aye. Judging by all this hive matter weighing it down, it's been trapped here for dozens of winters.
That howling sounds familiar.
It's the Song of the Sands. We don't normally sing like this underground.
That must be the cause of the storm.
Aye. Judging by all this hive matter weighing it down, it's been trapped here for dozens of winters.
There must be a way to cut it loose.
I'd wager that there's nothing here a well-placed throw of the axe can't solve.
Don't worry, Lunch. We'll get you out.
What is that name?
Well, the last squid thingy we saw was Diener, so...
Oh boy. While I appreciate the attempt at humor, that, little brother, is truly awful wordplay. Embarrassing, really.
Oh, well, can't all be winners. Yeah, there we go. Looks like it can move now, but it still can't get out.
Much of the hive matter is gone. We can free it from the surface now.
We've cut it loose, but it can't seem to escape.
Much of the hive matter is gone. We can free it from the surface now.
Why did they trap it down here?
How in the realms did they capture such a large one?
Half-goofas are known to burrow, so I'd hesitate to place full blame on our dark elf friends.
Even though it's bound by their hive?
Hive matter doesn't belong to the Dark Elves, any more than the light belongs to the Light Elves. It's just another of Alfheim's natural resources. One the elves have used since the time of their ancestors. And while the Light Elves seem keen to banish the hive over on their side, the Dark Elves make effective use of it out here in the...
So, by clearing out all of this hive, are we hurting Dark Elves?
You wish to leave the creature enslaved.
No.
Then let us free it.
Barons.
But if this is true, are we doing more harm than good by destroying this hive?
You wish to leave the creature enslaved.
No. Freyr would have wanted us to do everything in our power to restore this realm. We will free it.
This is the spot! We can cut the half-goofa loose here! It flies?
Of course it flies. It's a half-goofa.
Sounds much happier now. And hey, the storm's gone.
Aye. Perhaps we'll finally earn some goodwill from our Dark Elf friends after all. Never imagined I'd see a half-goofa fly again. Can't believe the lad missed this.
The storm is gone. The Song of the Sands has returned to Alfheim, albeit somewhat diminished from how I remember it as a child.
Atreus will be glad to hear it is no longer in pain.
You look forward to telling him.
One day. Yes.
Look, Father, thanks for bringing us out here, but you don't have to do this kind of stuff just to keep my mind off Ragnarok, you know?
This was not a distraction.
No? Then why are we really out here?
Have you ever considered... He just wants to spend time with you, lad. While he still can.
Really?
We do not know what lies ahead. But if Ragnarok approaches, I wish to enjoy the time we have left.
I don't know what to say. Thank you for bringing us out here. I'm glad we did this.
As am I.
You gave him a gift, allowing him to walk his own path. I know that wasn't easy.
I know you cared for him as well. You have always done right by Atreus.
He is the best of us.
Well, nice to be able to have a real conversation out here for once.
So, once we free both Hofgufas and end all the storms, then what?
I remember when Freyr and I traveled to this realm as children. The desert was healthy and full of life back then. I can't help but fear that era has ended for good and our efforts here are futile.
It's a fair concern. Healing this land will take more than a pair of singing Hafgufa. The scars of conflict are woven into the very fabric of the realm. I have to believe in the long run we're doing right by Alfheim. But, well, what's your father always saying in this situation?
Keep your expectations low, and you'll never be disappointed?
Wise words.
Healing this land will take more than a pair of singing Hafgufa. But I have to believe in the long run we're doing right by Alfheim. Well, best...
I wasn't sure before, but I'm glad we're doing this. The sandstorm just feels wrong for...
Aye. Hearing the Song of the Sands again is a rare privilege, even if it's only a solo act.
Not once we free this other Hofgufa. It'll be a duet.
Freyr never saw how poorly these lands fared in his absence, did he? He would appreciate our efforts out here.
Aye. Hearing the Song of the Sands again is a rare privilege, even if it's only a solo act.
Or a duet, once this Hofgufa is free.
What is this place? It doesn't look like a Dark Elf cave.
This architecture. It is not of the Dark Elves.
An abandoned ancient settlement by the looks of it. Built long before the Lightwell's creation.
More hive matter as well.
I'd say we're on the right track then.
Amir, the last time we were in Alfheim, the hive stuff was all over the realm. It looked unnatural. Like it was choking the life out of everything. Even the light itself.
It looked that way because you're not from this realm, lad. To the Dark Elves, the hive is more natural than that faultless, lily-white column in the center of the well. Just look at how old some of these surfaces are. Far older than the Lightwell, or even our trapped Hafgufa for that matter.
You have a point.
I'd like to believe I always do.
When I last came here with you and Atreus, I assumed the absence of Alfheim's light was an aberration. I didn't realize it was covered with
Aye. And as far as the Dark Elves are concerned, it's that light column in the center of the temple that's the aberration. Just look at how old some of these surfaces are. Far older than the Lightwell, or even our trapped Hafgufa for that matter.
That's quite the empathetic perspective, Mimir.
Well, dangle from a burly god's backside for a few winters, and you'll find yourself looking for all sorts of new perspectives.
What are the Light Elves doing down here? Isn't this Dark Elf territory?
Light Elves don't often travel underneath the Barrens, do they?
Territory changes hands often in Alfheim. Or so it appears.
Big Veer did mention that these ruins have historical significance for the Light Elves. I assume they're only here to keep intruders out.
Oops.
Well, at least they tried.
So with two Hofgufas free, are they gonna be able to, make more?
Almost certainly. A bittersweet spectacle, considering the cost.
The cost?
Aye. The adult's light fades as they pass it on to their offspring.
Hold on. Are you saying they have to die to have kids?
They don't have to, but the more light they give, the higher the chance of their offspring's survival.
Damn. That's...
I hope freeing these Hofgufas will allow them to breed again. It was a dazzling display once. The skies of Alfheim filled with their song.
I imagine it's the lack of fresh light that's caused this pair to grow abnormally large. No use in having babies if there's nothing for them to feed on.
Trying to protect their children from a harsh world. I can relate.
Well, here it is. Guess it's time to free it.
You don't seem particularly happy about it, lad.
We're freeing them only for them to die. It doesn't seem fair.
Life seldom is. But their sacrifice will allow their children to thrive. So they will die contented.
I wonder if these two comprehend the choice they face once free.
What choice do you speak of?
The life cycle of the Hofgufa. In order to breed, they must pass on their light to their children.
And without light, they will die.
I suppose that's all any of us can hope for in the end. That our death has purpose. That we can live on through our children. Given another chance, I know what choice I would make.
I hadn't thought about it like that. If I were one of the children, I wouldn't want them to.
I know, son. But it is the only choice they can make.
Nice. That loosened it up a bit. Okay. Guess that's all we can do from down here.
Aye. Back to the surface then.
Well done. Time to set it loose.
Aye. Back to the surface then.
The fate of these creatures. It reminds me of a story.
Yeah?
Does it?
There once was a blacksmith whose king commanded him to construct a box that could contain all the evils of the world. No metal could hold such a power. So the blacksmith used the flame.
Father, please. It's okay.
What is okay?
You don't have to... Look, I know I get sad about this kind of stuff, but it doesn't mean I won't be okay, you know?
Yes.
So, what happened with the blacksmith?
Flame.
Kratos, is this a story meant to ease my grief?
Perhaps it is just a story. A way to pass the time.
I appreciate the sentiment, but, well, your stories,
What about my stories?
I wouldn't exactly call them a comfort.
Fair. Mimir is the better storyteller.
Now don't sell yourself short, brother. You've come a long way from the days of laconic fables.
It's okay. Finish your story, Kratos.
His daughter was the key to unlocking the box. He died, trying to protect her from those who would open it.
You're not gonna have to do that for me.
I know. But I would. The blacksmith's daughter was the key to unlocking the box. He died trying to protect her from those who would open it.
Well, at least it's a relatable story.
Whatever my future holds, know this, Atreus. I will always do what is best for your future. Even these two understand that there is little choice for a parent.
So, are they...
This one's all yours, brother.
You know what? Never mind.
If my stories are of no comfort, take solace in knowing you did what you thought was best for your son's safety. Even these creatures know. There is little choice for a parent. You are not alone.
I'm not, am I? And now neither are they.
Misty. It's beautiful.
Thanks, Father, for doing all this. I know it doesn't solve everything, but it feels like we helped.
Thank you, Kratos. This land sings once more. We've done good here.
She's using the light to heal herself!
Yourself. Förlåt. Mig vet. Helga brought him on.
She thinks she's protecting them by hiding all this knowledge away.
Our ally wishes to read this journal. We are taking the book.
Gotta admit, didn't think it was gonna end that way.
Last we traveled here, when the Dark Elf King attacked us, the ramifications were dire for his people. We will not make the same mistake twice.
I'm impressed. Thought you were going to end her.
When last we traveled here, after Faye passed, I killed an elf of great importance. The ramifications were dire for his people. I do not wish to make the same mistake twice.
So, Mimir, why did they capture Garm in the first place?
That was Tyr's doing. He lured the beast somewhere safe and kept it distracted by lending his own arm to be gently chewed.
Is that Freyr?
What? Indeed it is.
Wow, big statue.
A monument to Freyr. I wonder if he ever saw this.
That's odd. The runes are dark.
Why would the elves build a giant statue of Freyr? Didn't they just go back to fighting each other after he left?
I'm grateful to see Freyr remembered this way. But what purpose does all this serve?
Difficult to say without an inscription. But it looks like the elves built this place together, light and dark. Which means this would have been their first act of cooperation in generations. A far cry from lasting peace, but perhaps it served as a monument. One that symbolizes the potential for peace.
This statue may have survived Freya's absence, but a truce clearly did not. Monuments are useless to those who ignore their message.
Didn't he have just, I don't know, cast a spell or something? Made things better permanently?
There wasn't a spell or enchantment to leave behind. Freya's presence is what mattered. His very godhood is what brought life back to this dying land. Eventually he had to choose, Vanaheim or Alfheim.
Vanaheim was his home.
It's never easy to walk away from those who need you.
He didn't create a truce through diplomacy alone. His godhood, his very presence is what healed this land and allowed peace to take root. But once he left, he had to have known what would happen.
Well, he had good reason to leave. Some jackass convinced his sister to marry a madman.
There's already light inside these crystals.
Strange. These crystals contain their own light.
You're right. Normally we'd have to provide our own. Perhaps slotting a crystal on the opposite side could shed some light on this mystery.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Ugh.
If monuments are useless, why are you trying to fix this one?
You said monuments are useful. Why restore this one?
It was hidden for some time. Perhaps now it can serve as a reminder.
Aye. Nothing reminds people of their history like chiseled, well-lit marble.
Whoa, what was that? Hey, come in. That ring of crystal shards is glowing now.
That did.
Looks like we can read the inscription now as well. In honor of the Enlightened One, may his gift of light shine eternal. Ah, gift of light.
Light from the crystals. It is in the sand now.
Would you look at that? Freyr's gift endures after all. Or should I say, his presence?
You are not funny.
Father, do you think there will ever be peace in Alphon?
Peace is difficult after centuries of conflict. It must be found in its own time. From within, it cannot be forced.
But Mom helped you find peace, right? How are the elves supposed to change if no one shows them the way?
Your mother. She trusted me. Gave me the space to find my own way. But you are right, Atreus. She was my guide. Our actions in Alfheim may not bring peace, but by ending the storm and bringing light back to this land, perhaps we have planted the seeds.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Sounds like I'm rubbing off on you, brother.
It is possible.
Even when Freyr was actually here, the peace was fragile. Surely a bit of extra light in the desert isn't enough to make it last.
Before I met Faye, I could not imagine a life of peace. After her death, in our travels to Jotunheim, I found peace on my own. It remains my responsibility to make it last.
I only hope his guidance will last this time.
We will see. But he has given them a chance. Look here, Freya.